What's up out there, YouTube? This is the Zen Trekker coming at you again. I think it's been about 2 weeks since my last posting, and I thought this would be a good time to send out an update for a couple of reasons. Well, one, because the last time I checked in and made a video, I had just finished training. 2-week new driver training for Schneider down in Phoenix. And since I graded out of the training academy, I've had 2 weeks on the road. So the first week on the road was with a training engineer. That's basically an experienced driver who's gone through like some type of Schneider trainer training and qualified to be what they call a training engineer. And I spent like 5 or 6 days on the road with the TE. This particular TE has been working on the Dollar General account, which I was assigned to for like 4.5 years. So he's a really good trainer. It was a really good experience. A very cool dude. Took the job, very seriously, knew his stuff, gave me a lot of instruction, a lot of help and guidance, but also didn't take himself too seriously. So we did enjoy our time. Actually, an interesting piece to this puzzle is there was another guy that I was paired with pretty much the whole time I was in the training academy. Real cool dude was another guy who was being assigned to Dollar General out of Quebec, and we were assigned to we were paired up for that whole 2-week training process. And as it turns out, the account that we were going to has 2 TEs, but one of them was on vacation. So the TE that I ended up going with said, you know what, rather than make one of these guys wait a week, I'll take both of them. So me and this other guy, really nice guy, went with the TE together. So there were 3 of us in the truck, and me and the other new driver split the driving, and we split all of the responsibilities, in terms of coupling and uncoupling and backings, and our TE did a really good job of splitting the time and giving us both an opportunity to experience pretty much everything that you could experience in a 5 or 6 day period. So yeah, it was a good experience. We got through the 5 or 6 days. Yeah, and I guess there's questions, running through some people's brains. Well, how do 3, grown men sleep in a truck? Well, we didn't. Schneider put us up in a hotel every night. And well, they make a hotel room available every night. It's up to the TE to decide how the logistics work. This particular TE basically said, look, you guys sleep in the hotel, and he slept in the truck every night, which was cool. I had spent a lot of time sleeping in a truck when I was back with Swift, so I didn't need to acclimate to that kind of experience or anything. So it was cool being able to stay in the hotels. So we got through the training. We did a run to Vegas. We did a run up to Red Bluff, California. We did a couple other runs up to Northern California, and pretty much the week was over. We did a lot of unloading in the trailer. He spent a lot of time showing us his system, and how he likes to unload the trailer, like what his system is with the rolltainers and all that, and working the lift gate and working with the store managers and all the paperwork and logistics. So all in all, it was a really good week. I learned a lot. Holy cow, I learned 100 times more with this trainer than I did with my Swift mentor. Big difference when you have a guy who does quite a bit more than throwing you the keys and saying drive 500 miles. And so by the time I was finished with him that week, I was ready to go. And sure enough, Schneider had a truck ready for me this past Tuesday. So I went home for a couple days on the weekend, and then I came back to my truck on Tuesday morning. I'm trying to remember Tuesday morning, and immediately left for Las Vegas to do a special run where I had to pick up a bunch of rolltainers from some stores. It wasn't an actual load. I got back from Vegas, and I had a run waiting for me down to southeast Arizona, past Tucson. $3 general stores, like, I don't know, like 50, 60 miles past Tucson, like southeast of Tucson. I could pretty much, see Mexico, New Mexico from where I was sitting at these stores. So a little over like 650 miles or so. It took me more than a day to get here. I basically made it most of the way the first day, and then the next day, which was Saturday, I think, I had to drive about 200 miles and then unload the whole trailer at the 3 stores. It was a really long day, and after this particular week, after driving to Vegas and back, driving all the way down here, unloading, between the driving and the unloading, and it being the first time me doing it by myself, and making some mistakes here and there, and not really being too sure of certain. There's only so much you can learn from the TE, but once you're here by yourself, you got to make your own decisions, and it's easy to forget things and make mistakes, and which I did. So I ended up running out of clock at the 3rd store, and I had to, so I was stuck here. Like, I couldn't drive out of here when I was done. I actually worked 2 hours past my 14-hour clock, but you're allowed to work past 14 hours apparently, but you can't drive. So I finished my deliveries, all 3 of them, in the allotted time, and then I was kind of stuck here in the Dollar General parking lot. And then I realized that I not only overran my 14-hour clock, but I only had 6 hours left on my 70-hour clock, and I don't gain any back tomorrow. So I had to make a decision. Do I drive the 6 hours and try to get closer, and then have to do a 34-hour reset in, I don't know, a truck stop or something halfway home? At which point the 34-hour would reset like at 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I would have wasted that 10-hour, 10 hours that I just slept. So I decided to take my 34-hour reset here. I'd already been sleeping for 10 hours and off duty for 10 hours, so I only need 24 more hours, and I got a 34-hour reset. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting in this Dollar General parking lot in southeastern Arizona, off of the 10 East somewhere, and I'm waiting until tomorrow morning, at which point I'll drive as far as I can back to Lebec, California, and then hopefully have a day or 2 off before I start all over again. So that's my first week. It's been a good week. The unloading was hard, hard physically. It was damn good workout. I was pretty tired by the end of the day, but it was cool. I mean, if you don't mind physical work, it's really not that big of a deal. Some of those rolltainers are freaking heavy as hell, man. You got to get really down low on those things and push with your legs. Some of them get stuck together. The guys in the warehouse have no freaking clue how to load a truck. I was overweight when I picked up the trailer, so I had to bring it back and have them redistribute the load. And their idea of redistributing the load was taking a bunch of cartons and throwing them as far up in the trailer as possible, which kind of sucks for the first store, because when I got to the first store, there must have been about 50, 60 of his boxes of product that were like thrown like deep into the front of the trailer. So you know, either he climbs up and goes to get them, which you're not really allowed to do, or that product goes to a different store. So yeah, the warehouse guys have no freaking clue how to load a trailer. But whatever, it doesn't bother me. You know, I kind of enjoy the physical work. The first store I got pretty freaking tired. I think I was trying to move too fast, and I hadn't really eaten a good breakfast, and I wasn't hydrated enough, so I had to like stop and rest a lot. And then I kind of got the hang of it through the day. My last store was like 1,500 pieces. My first store was 600, and I got the 1,500 piece load unloaded in like pretty much the same amount of time as it took me to unload the first store that had like 600 or 700 pieces. So I kind of figured things out, and yeah, it's been a good week. The driving has been like the easy part. I'm like super careful. I'm a pretty conservative driver, so like I'm always kind of moving on the slow side of traffic, and everybody plays how many trucks and cars can pass Eddie. You know, I do like obviously 55 in California and like 60, between 60 and 62 outside of California. So the truck is governed to 63 anyway, so it's not like you can do much faster anyway. I think that's about it. So I'm just waiting out my 34 hours. I'll leave out of here about, I don't know, sometime between 8 and 10 o'clock. I forget exactly what time tomorrow morning, and try to get home as soon as possible, spend some time with the fam, and that's it. Good first week, successful, got my deliveries on time, made some money, and did a lot of driving. So that's it, that's the update. Feel free to make comments, hit those buttons, like, dislike, whatever, subscribe, and shoot me some comments. I'll try to get, I got plenty of time, so I'll definitely answer the comments while I'm sitting here waiting. Well, anyway, thanks for following. Hopefully I'll have another video up pretty soon, and peace. Be safe.